Welcome to the No Spin News, Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Stand up for your country. Now, if you have followed my career, you know I don't get involved with campaigns. I was on a Hannity radio program today, and he said, Sean Hannity said to me, he goes, I've never really heard you inject yourself to the extent you are in the 2024 presidential race. And that was a good observation on Hannity's part. I never do that because my job is to cover both candidates. I mean, obviously, you know how I feel about issues, but in a fair way. I'm not trying to promote anything for this country other than the welfare of it. I want good things for everybody. And now we're in a situation in history where we have the second worst president ever. And how can I not get involved here on that level? I have to. So I am. And I don't have any, let's say, connections to the Trump campaign. I don't talk to them. I talk to the president once in a while. I think he's mad at me now for some reason. I don't know, and it doesn't really bother me. You know, everybody's mad at me on occasion. So I do have advice, though, for the Trump campaign. And I debated about whether to do this, but I'm going to do it because it's so important. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So the Republican convention is July 15th to 18th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On July 11th, Mr. Trump will be sentenced by Judge Merchan in New York City on this totally bogus hush money case. There is a very good op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today, excellent, about how Donald Trump's due process was violated in this trial, which if the Trump lawyers are smart and they lose in New York State, they'll take it into the federal system. Really good column, and it's worth your while to check it out. Anyway, at the convention or even before the June 27th debate, Donald Trump should put forth the Trump manifesto. Okay? Write it down, the Trump manifesto. I'm going to tell you what it is in a moment. Now, at this point, Donald Trump is running on a personal beef. 80% of his rallies and his appearances are talking about personal stuff. That's smart in the short term because he's raised $100 million since the New York jury found him guilty. That's a colossal amount of money, and he's going to need $1 billion. The Trump campaign will need $1 billion to compete against the Democratic machine. Okay, so he had a perfect right to be personal about it. I would have been. But now the statute of limitations on the personal beef is pretty much ending. He's got to segue into the policy situation. So here are the 10 things that I, your humble correspondent, would suggest be put into the Trump manifesto. Number one, how he will defeat inflation. Precisely how. Number two, border security. That's right in Trump's wheelhouse. All he has to do is go back to remain in Mexico. Three, a migrant policy for those already inside the country. Now, if he goes detention camps, mass roundups, he's going to lose votes. You got to think that out. Americans don't want doors kicked in the middle of the night and screaming babies being taken out of homes. That would be foolish. You've got to think this out. Four, energy. What would you do in the energy situation? Five, Ukraine. Trump is dodging Ukraine. You've got to spell out what you would do. You can't just say, I'll get a deal with Putin. I believe that Trump is capable of doing that, but I want to know more. Six, Israel terrorism. All right, define it. Seven, college madness. Are you going to cut off federal funds to colleges that are out of control and practice anti-Semitism? Are you going to do that, Mr. Trump? Specifics. 8, crime. social disorder. What are you going to do? Continue to send money to sanctuary cities that don't enforce the law, like New York? Are you going to continue to do that, Mr. Trump? Okay. 9, abortion. Not a lot on this. You got to define your view on it. And 10, equity favoring a specific race in government policy. Are you going to ban equity? Are you going to make an executive order about it, Donald Trump? All of those things have to be addressed. That is the Trump manifesto. Now, for you premium and concierge members, you can get a written transcript. There it is. And you want to send it to the Trump campaign, go ahead. They have no idea what I'm saying. Now, it might be smart to put that manifesto out before the debate because Joe Biden has no specific plans to solve any problems. None. So if you have 10 strong specifics up against his none in a debate, I think you'll probably win the debate, no matter what the moderators do. I can defend all of those things easily. I swat away any questions that come my way. Okay, so I believe, and you have heard me say this, that a vote for Joe Biden in November is a vote against you and your family. That's how catastrophic the Biden administration is. Now, I was on the phone today with a friend of mine whose wife is an uber liberal, and he says, even my wife doesn't want Joe Biden, but she can't vote for Trump. I told this guy, suggest to your wife that she not vote. Don't vote at all, or vote down ticket. Because if you pull a lever for President Biden, you are hurting your family. You are hurting yourself. If you can't pull it for Trump, don't vote. That was my advice, and that's the memo. Donald Trump is in France. He is not doing anything today. He segues down to Normandy tomorrow. He's going to greet vets. He's going to lay a wreath on the 9,000 Americans in the cemetery. And he's going to do all kinds of ceremonial things. That's good. 80th anniversary of D-Day. We'll get into that a little later in the program. We got a good book to tell you about. And then tomorrow about my personal visit to Normandy. Then he goes back to Paris tonight, tomorrow night. And then he goes back to Normandy on Friday. So why don't you stay in Normandy? I guess it's a security thing. But there are plenty of good places to stay in Normandy. I don't know why he's going all back to Paris. I mean, it's easy. It's an easy chopper ride back to Paris, but a little strange. Anyway, tomorrow's the 80th anniversary. I'm going to have my analysis of Normandy based upon my trip there and all of that. You might want to tune into that. Biden comes home Sunday the 9th, then he goes back to Italy Thursday the 13th, 4 days later. I don't understand this. I mean, the man can hardly stand up. If you read my message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com, when he walked off that podium after the announcing the executive order on the border, he could hardly get off. He walked like a toddler. And they're whipping him back across the Atlantic. Why don't they give him a couple of days? Get down to southern France and just lay by the pool. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway. All right, let's go to Attorney General Merrick Garland. What a disaster this man is. Remember, Obama wanted him to be a Supreme Court justice. This guy is such a disaster, I can't even believe it. So he testifies in front of the Judiciary Committee yesterday. And a lot of it is partisan garbage. I understand that. They're trying to make Merrick Garland look bad. Well, you don't really have to try. Okay, he looks bad. But there is a key here. And the key is the people after Donald Trump, Fani Willis in Georgia, her boyfriend, Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, they made Justice Department visits and White House visits. And the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee want to know about the visits. For example, Letitia James, New York AG, who's behind the hush money thing, visited the White House 3 times. We have the dates, according to White House visitor logs. Bragg did not go down. Alvin Bragg did not visit there. Fani Willis went up herself and her boyfriend who was on a case, went 3 times. Nathan Wade, according to press reports. We want to know for sure. Okay? So all has legitimate questions. Is there a linkage between all of these charges against Trump and the White House and the Justice Department, Merrick Garland? Roll the tape.
Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those communications?
If you make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing.
This is a stonewall, a flat-out stonewall, embarrassing for a public servant. Make the material available so the American public can see what your interactions were with Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, anybody else involved with the Trump prosecutions. Come on. I mean, this is maddening. Really? You're not going No, you have communications. Let's see what you did. You don't have executive privilege. It's really outrageous. Really is. Where's Woodward and Bernstein? They're both alive. Where's the Washington Post losing $77 million last year? Maybe if you investigated stuff like this Washington Post, you wouldn't lose $77 million. Maddening. As another critical election nears, America is gripped by anxiety. Recent studies show that 56% are feeling dread about the upcoming presidential vote in November. That's why I stand with AMAC. It's more than a senior discount organization. AMAC fights for common sense and a return to traditional American values. Visit amac.us/O'Reilly to grab an exclusive election year special, a 4-year AMAC membership for just $30. Members get access to money-saving benefits, the AMAC magazine, free Social Security and Medicare advice, a trusted voice in Washington, and a community of like-minded patriots. Take advantage of this election year special. 4 years for just $30. Be a part of the solution. By joining AMAC, you strengthen a movement dedicated to preserving our cherished principles. Please join now at amac.us/O'Reilly. That's amac.us/O'Reilly. Okay, let's go to the mail. We got Michael Scott, Wimberley, Texas. Bill, please explain how it is the former President Trump leads Biden by large margins on surveys about individual policy, yet the polls are at dead heat. Millions of Americans do not like Donald Trump. That's it. There's nothing more to it than that. Policy, it's not even close. Susan Underwood, Delaware, Oklahoma. Democrats say Donald Trump only built 40 miles of wall. Trump says he built 500. What's the truth? Okay. Donald Trump built 80 miles of wall, but repaired 372 miles that was decaying. You add it up, and that's more than 500 miles. See what they do? The reason that Trump didn't do more is that he couldn't get the appropriations. Okay. Pat, on the message board, my question, how will the number of asylum migrants be kept track of when they are coming into the country through different locations? Well, the Border Patrol is supposed to stop the migrants, assess their situation, go back to headquarters, put it in the computer, then it goes to Homeland Security. That's why the executive order by Biden is ridiculous. Never gonna happen. It's crazy. Karen, I would like to know if the 10 million migrants are all getting free everything or just the 6.5 million waiting for their asylum hearing. Depends on the state. So you go to California, if you are a foreign national, you get everything. New York, everything. Some states Like Florida, Texas, a little tougher. Mark Canning, Ringwood, New Jersey. Why isn't anyone demanding President Biden hold a press conference? Demand to who? If he doesn't want to hold a press conference, Mark, he's not going to hold a press conference. He can't force him. All right? Not going to do it. Susan, the Fauci money has no oversight. This is the donations that his organization made to the Wuhan lab. Just the same as the billions we're sending to Ukraine for that grift. I don't know if 500,000 Ukrainians dead or wounded can be called a grift. Think about that. Carol, I'm Catholic. Do not understand how this president is not dismissed from the church because of the abortion stance. The U.S. Conference of Bishops in America, well, that would be redundant, U.S. Conference of Bishops, have made a political decision not to confront Joe Biden. That's it. They are in charge. Christopher, as a retired Army sergeant, 25 years for them as a recruiter, I wonder if many young people today are not enlisting because of the anti-military indoctrination they receive in school. I don't think that's it. In high school particularly, I don't think there's an anti-military. If you go to any sporting event, the military people are lionized, they're honored. I don't think that's it. I don't think that patriotism is emphasized or taught in school or at home. Generally speaking, that's what the problem is. Donna Flynn Hedges, Binghamton, New York. Love the new Media Madness segment. Thank you for your honest news coverage. You're right. We cannot get that anywhere else. Well, I appreciate that, Donna. You know, we're in business to advance the story and give you what is really happening. Okay, and what is really happening is it's 10 days till Father's Day, so you got to get on it. And we are here to make your life easier. So we are out of self-reliance mugs. They are sold out, and we thank everybody who got them. Graduates, you know, that was a big gift for them. So no more self-reliance mugs. We do have Not Woke, but they're going to sell out, the Not Woke mugs. And we teamed them with the white Team Normal baseball hat. There's the mug, and there's the team. Okay? So the mug and the hat, $39.95. The mug itself, I don't know what we'll get, at $24.95, okay? So these are very reasonably priced gifts. Then we have the Not Woke mug in the United States of Trump for you. Trump is not a cupcake book. It tells you all about Donald Trump, who he is, why he does what he is. Now, we want to emphasize that if you re-up or sign up for BillO'Reilly.com concierge or premium membership, you get any book free or the Not Woke mug free, your choice. So this is fantastic. If you give dad or granddad a premium membership, that's a whole year. And they'll remember that. Check that out. And finally, with D-Day here, we have the leather-bound limited edition of Killing Patton, one of our legacy gifts, a little bit more expensive. Dad will never forget getting this. And Confronting the President's out in 3 months. And I got it right here. You're going to love this book. And this is called A Galley. And there are some mistakes that I'm going through now and correcting, and they won't be in the hardcover. But you can pre-order on BillO'Reilly.com, Amazon, any of that. All right, word of the day, do not be adult. I'm bringing that word back. D-O-L-T, don't be adult. Back with a final thought about Mick Jagger in a moment. Wall Street tells us to put our money in an IRA or 401k. They think risking your life savings in the Wall Street casino is a secure investment for our future. Did you know the average American who follows that advice might outlive their savings by 10 years? With Bank on Yourself, grow and protect your hard-earned money. This retirement alternative has never had a loss in more than 160 years. Do you want predictable annual growth, control of your money, and tax-free retirement income? Then go to bankonyourself.com/nospin, and they will send you a free report with the retirement plan that big banks and Wall Street are desperately hoping you never hear about. Again, go to bankonyourself.com/nospin for your free report. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Okay, here's final thought of the day. Mick Jagger, 80 years old, Rolling Stones. Keith Richards, 80 years old. Ronnie Wood, 77. They're running around the USA. They're doing concerts sold out. 80 years old, these guys. Okay, so they're in Orlando. And Mick Jagger says this. Go.
We've got some great local celebrities that have come tonight. You know, there's a lot of celebrities here in Florida. Tiger Woods is here, for instance. Johnny Fatoni's here. And the Backstreet Boys. And Ron DeSantis is up there in the suite.
All right, he's having a date night weekend. Just a jest, nothing big. Now, I've never met Jagger. All right, I don't know him. I don't hear good things about him. John Mulaney, the comedian, he did a hysterical bit about Jagger hosting Saturday Night Live. Just Google John Mulaney, Mick Jagger. It's just off the chart. Funny. Anyway, Jagger is worth $500 million. Richards, $500 million. So getting more. And there it is. So thank you very much for watching and listening across the country and the world to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.